police in Buffalo. A moment of violence caught on camera, and we're going to show it to you, and you should be prepared because it's very difficult to watch as a man in his 70s is knocked down by officers.
He is bleeding out of his ears. He's bleeding out of his ears. Get somebody over here. He's bleeding out of his ear. Get him medic. Help him. Help him with that. Grab him. Back up. Back up. Get off the steps. Let's go. Get back.
As you can see there, before an officer moves in front of the camera, another protester is arrested. It's a reporter with the news outlet that recorded the incident who tells police to get an ambulance for the man. Buffalo's mayor says the 75-year-old is in serious but stable condition. He goes on to call the incident, quote, disheartening. New York's governor, Andrew Cuomo, calls what happened utterly disgraceful. 2 officers involved are now suspended.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kwa zina natangwa Ramazani ambao ni mtangazaji wenu kwa diskuda jero kwa kipindi chino chikunga chigale jero. Pia na mnyango hana ambao chikunga chisaidiane katika kuuza maswali najitambulishe kwa mazina alafu yani na chingire mwe shughuli yetu ambao ichikaze hano kwa diskuda jero inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ni mie Kauye. Karibuni Kumbusa TV hano china Martin Gugino ngosujua asindikwe haja City Hall polisi kamsindika kawa chinyuma nyuma mtu wake kunyuma pasuka kala sakame ngosuno kagaoka mwezi mjima wose nenda ni hospitali osovino wa mlava afya yake hano mamona hause nashiminga niye microphone alonge hali yake. Okay, Martin.
Oh, assalamu alaikum. Hi.
So Kauye did a little bit of introduction about you. Your name is Martin. So for the sake of the audience, do you mind telling us a little bit about you, your name, where you were born and
I grew up mostly in Buffalo. I went to grammar school in Buffalo, high school in Buffalo, and college at UB. So I've really been in Buffalo, and then my first job was in Buffalo. But then at some point, I moved to Cleveland to work at the electric company. Yeah, but that wasn't right from Buffalo. I think from Buffalo, I went to New York City and worked on the Singer computer. You know, Singer sewing machines and all that. Well, they also made a computer.
So you're a computer guy too?
And only computer. That's all I do really is computers. Okay. In my job is computers. So. I worked at Bell Aerosystems first, and then I don't really remember, and it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Which order.
With the little introduction that Kauye did on your behalf, she touched a little bit on the incident that took place sometime last year, June 4th.
June 4th, exactly.
June 4th. Yeah. There was an incident that was very famous on national TV. I'm not sure if it was on TV,
quite a bit.
A good thing or bad thing, but it was heartbreaking, and everyone seen it. First, I would like to start with you by asking, how are you doing?
Oh, pretty good. I mean, I went to the hospital and I've had physical therapy, and I'm back to a functional level. I can go out and go shopping and things like that. There's some residual, but I can work.
So you're mobile. You're not limited to certain things.
Correctly.
Okay. Kauye, you got.
So, do you feel that the situation that happened to you was fair? Can you give us a bit of information as to why do you feel it happened to you, and if you were a black man and that was to happen, how do you feel would have been the outcome of the grand jury?
Oh, I don't know if you mean if the original incident where I was pushed down, was that fair, and then the grand jury, is that fair? So they're two different things.
Yes, and can you speak up, please?
Oh, sorry. How can you tell? They can't hear me. How can you tell? Oh, he said so louder, please. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I think everyone who saw the film thought, this is weird. This is not good. This is bad. This is a bad thing. And I think when I saw the film, I thought the same thing. I thought, this is terrible. This is really awful. And so I got letters from all around the country and some very wonderful cards from people who said, thank you so much for standing up for us.
Martin.
Yes, sorry.
Okay, so in June of 2020 is when the incident took place.
Yeah, you're right. 20, yeah.
June 4th is when it took place. And this was near City Hall, Buffalo.
Correct, right outside.
And these times were times where there was a Black Lives Matter movement.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and it was a time where communities were like, this is enough to the brutality that's going on in our cities and the nation in general. So you happened to be at one of the protests there.
Correct.
And when we look at the video, it shows that you are approaching the officers.
Yes.
And you seemed like you had your phone in your hands trying to show something to the officers. What exactly were you trying to communicate with the officers for them to push you to the ground?
Oh, yes. Well, no, after I was knocked out, you really don't remember falling or being knocked out, or even your short-term memory didn't get put back in the brain.
I'm talking about what happened previous.
I remember. I sort of remember getting up, but after that, not much detail at all. Really nothing. But I had my phone on. I know I turned my phone on because whenever you're in a situation with officers, especially if you potentially might be arrested, you always turn your phone on. And you don't just take pictures of the trees. You take pictures of the officers.
Right, for evidence purposes.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what the phone was for, to record the sound, to take the pictures. And I was going to them because they looked. I don't know if they. I was surprised at what happened. I mean, that has never happened to me, and I've seen people like that before, and we talk and it's fine.
Okay. Wanakumbusa wategelezaji wetu wakumbusa Jero naona Jero hana chatumia lugha ya kigeni ni yonao yasababishwa kwa sababu china mjeni ambao hakutumia lugha ya kwetu. Jero hano chalonga kuhusu tukio ambao litokee mwaka ujojinkira wa mwaka 2020 ambao mzee uno ekale na chue hano ni mmoja hapo wa watu ambao wahusike kupatwa ni ajali na katika kukumbana na mapolisi mnomwika ya Buffalo. Mzee uno kasindikwa niyo agwa kegola kwa hospitali katibiwa osovino aniendelea vedi kidogo. Niyo maana ni chionire kwamba kuna umuhimu kwamba chimuitange yeye ezechimuze maswali kwamba ni mbwani sababishe asindikwe mapolisi haje na kigalwa mbwani alafu kuendelea mbwani baada haja kasindikwa kalumira kigalwa kwa hospitali kuendelea mbwani baada yaho sharia imsaidia kinamna gani. So Martin, also the second day on June 5th, I understand
the day after. Oh yes.
Yes, you were in the hospital still.
Yes, right.
But I understand you spoke to the governor.
Yes, he called.
Andrew Cuomo.
Yes,
Would you able to tell us a little bit about that?
Oh well, I mean, I heard that he was going to be calling me, and then he called, and I recognized his voice, of course, and it was maybe a minute. It wasn't very long, and he just said, "Oh, we saw the incident on the television. It's really terrible. This is completely wrong." You know, that's really the gist of what he said.
So that has to do with greetings and also to check on you and how you're doing and if you're doing any better.
Yeah.
Okay, and this incident was described by the governor.
Oh yes.
Disgraceful, and the mayor of Buffalo described it as disheartening. We also have District Attorney Flynn.
Okay.
So these are top official. What would you like them to do for the better? What would you like?
How to improve the situation?
Yes.
Well, I think that Flynn was trying to improve the situation. He said, well, this is bad. What can I do? How should I deal with this? I can't do nothing. I have to do something. So he thought, well, let's charge the 2 policemen with assault.
And I understand they were suspended the same day.
And well, true. And so, so the Attorney General thought, I have to charge them with assault, and because of the way the statute is written, because I was 15 years older than them, really 20 or 30 years older than them, it turns into a felony. It's like whoever wrote the law said, let's not push down the old people. Let's not, which makes sense. And so he tried it. He charged them and tried it, and that's that's what he tried. He's trying to. I mean, the situation is bigger. It's very big. It's a tremendous problem. So he thought, well, maybe I can make a little step forward, a small step forward.
Okay, and so how would you like our government, our local government, to improve for the better in terms of interacting with the community they serve?
Oh yeah, well of course. I mean, they have to interact better. They have to. It has to be that the community trusts them. It's got to be that. There are many places in the world where there are not a police force, so there's really not a 911. You can't call them.
Right.
So if you get in trouble, hey, too bad.
Right.
And those are terrible. It's really hard to make progress economically if there's not law and order, because you can have a store, selling bread every day, making clothes every day. Somebody comes in and steals everything. Now what? Now, yeah.
Oh yeah, you got.
Do you feel like you got the community support?
Of course, the whole world. The whole world. Yeah, no, the whole world.
And
Your family.
Except for the president. Except for the president.
well, we're not gonna get into that. We're not gonna get into that. That will be a different day topic.
Okay.
So,
Right.
all this happened. Do you think justice was done on your behalf?
Well, I don't think I was treated unjustly. I mean, you're talking about the grand jury,
Yes.
right? Yeah. Well, this is my opinion. They came to a conclusion very quickly. And they dealt with the fact, okay, this was a terrible thing that happened. This was a bad thing. This is a bad thing that happened. We don't like this. But I think they thought, the problem, how can we fix this? And they decided that the remedy is not to charge 2 police officers with a felony. Like, how does that fix the problem? Doesn't fix it at all. And I think they said, I don't think we're gonna. No, we're not gonna do it.
Most of us here, I and Kawir, we are from Africa, Kenya.
Oh yeah.
And in Kenya, especially in the villages that we used to live, there is not such a thing as a practice in democracy. We've experienced so much of police brutality.
Oh really? Okay.
So
yes.
we lived in a refugee camp in Kenya. And after so many years, we had the hope that we will be in the United States.
Oh yes.
To have better life,
Civilization,
to get good education, and that, and boom, on social media you see police officer.
The whole summer. The whole summer was like that.
You see on national TV. Right. Officers, doing all this, things. And it's a fact that police officers must protect themselves, and also they must protect the community they serve.
Yes.
What would you like someone like me that comes from a different country to take away from this?
Oh, to learn.
Situation?
What's the lesson to be learned?
Yes.
Oh. That the United States is in trouble. It's in deep trouble. Yeah, I think. But there's so many different areas that have problems. I mean, there's the whole thing. Some of the laws are written wrong, and then some of the enforcement by the police is wrong, and then some of the charges by the district attorney is wrong, and then some of the decisions in court are wrong, and then in jail, that whole thing. It's just kind of really not great. It's really rickety and
you
not
mean the
good.
whole system?
The whole justice system is bad.
And this is just not in New York State. This is a general thing.
Yeah, the United States has many more people in prison than most countries have in prison. There's a lot more people in prison. And a lot of it's the drug laws and so on. And but so something has to be done. Everyone knows it. I think something will be done. I don't know what yet. But I think You know, President Biden says nothing will change. Well, we'll see about that. Something has to change. Many things have to change.
Something has to change, and the people
have to push it.
you know, have to bring the change, correct?
Right.
Claudia, you got anything you want to ask?
I was just gonna say that so the United States is in trouble.
I think so, yeah.
Therefore, where do you see this democracy that they claim we have 5 years from now?
Oh, well, there's two choices. It will get better or it will get worse. I don't think we're going to stay the same. And the question of democracy has to be addressed. That's a problem. You know, where the will of the people, what the people want, the way it's supposed to be is what the people want is what happens. And for the very good reason that the legitimacy of the government, the reason it's a legitimate government is because it has the consent of the people. That's what they teach you in school. It's legitimate because, we just love it here. We love it. Okay, but a lot of people are having troubles and don't love it. And they see the very rich people. You know, they used to say, a rising tide lifts all boats. Yeah, but this isn't a tide. This is like a tsunami. The water's going out, a lot of people are in trouble, and then a big wave's going to come, and the big cruise ships, they'll go up, but everybody else have just wiped out.
Kwa hiyo mzee uno ni katika hivyo kujaribia kujielezea kwamba ni shida imtokea yeye, itakuwa mahakama wa serikali ishughulikia, lakini kwa upande wake aona bado hahitajika kazi hano, especially hususan mwi serikali, kwa sababu mapolisi nayo ambayo yadire kiapo kwamba ni kazi yao ni kutetea wananchi mwika hiyo wa kuishi, lakini hause inaonekana kwamba ni wowo nao wagoka ni maadui makulu ya wantu ambao watoa wantu wakoma wantu kama hivyo, especially kama hivyo chukua na mama TV siku zino sivedima. Kwa hiyo mzee yuno japokuwa ni yeye shida imtokea, lakini bado tu ni aira na serikali kwamba ni bado china nafasi ya kujirekebisha, yani chichumiza ho chigwere chinuke, yani chite hivyo chitongere isira hiyo ikufaya ambao ikuda kusaidia jamii yetu inshallah.
What message would you like the Somali Bantu community who is watching right now to get away from this incident that happened to you?
Oh, okay.
What message would you like for them to?
Well, I hope they're not upset. I hope they're not upset.
We are all upset.
No, don't be upset. Don't be this because it's okay to be upset, but just realize everyone is upset, not just you. Everyone is upset. This is not over. You know, we can throw these two apples away, but no, the whole barrel is bad. And not only that, but where are we getting these barrels? Where are we getting these barrels?
There has to be some deep cleaning.
This remedy that the district attorney wants to fix something. Yeah, but this is not the fix for this problem. It's like Godzilla is coming in and you want to wash the floor or something? No. You need more.
The police department is Godzilla.
Well, yeah. Not only that.
What would you like to see as a change?
And not only this police department, but in Rochester's maybe worse. Rochester's worse. I could tell you a funny story that's not funny at all, but I won't. I mean, it's another. The police arrested some man in a wheelchair. They just tackled him and got him on the ground and hurt his leg. He was in an electric wheelchair. They said, "Get out of here." So he motored over to where the bus stop is. They said, "What's he doing here? We told him to get out of here. He's waiting for the bus." And so they arrested him. But that's Beniwar. But that's it's a long, interesting story. Yeah.
Will this happen in Rochester?
That's Rochester.
How long ago was that?
That actually happened many years ago, like 5, yeah. But there have been 2 incidents this year on Jefferson Street in Rochester, like a police shooting, and the one about where they sprayed that girl. There was a sympathy rally where it was cold, so people just come in cars and honk your horn around Niagara Square, and to show sympathy for the girl, and for the people and in protest against the Rochester police. Well, I was down at Roswell picking up some drugs, and I thought, oh, I can still make it. So I drove down, and the whole square was blocked off by police cars. You couldn't get there. So I parked the car and walked in, and what's going on? And I finally talked to this, I think it was Lieutenant Paris. And he said, oh, it was too snowy, slippery, it was dangerous. I decided on my own, he said, to close the square, to stop this protest against the Rochester police, which he knew what it was. Because
and you were there during this whole thing.
Well, no, I came late. I came late and I walked in. I wasn't able to drive in. I had to
and this was a protest, or
just last week?
Okay.
Yeah, just last week. Yeah, I walked in and then I talked to some of the policemen in the car. Said, yeah, what's going on? He just called us and said, park over here. Okay, fine. So the guys in the car that I talked to had minimal information. They just said, the lieutenant wants me to park here? Yeah, okay. And block, keep people from, all right, fine. But
shida ya polisi si hano basi Buffalo male shida ya polisi nivo mkumiva mgosiuno agamba shida ya polisi Rochester kuna mana chiche ana miaka chenda basi polisi
oh yes
amnanga mwidi wheelchair
basi
kampufia dawa sumu
kampufia dawa ya sumu. So Martin, I want to ask you, you speak to me a lot about Guantanamo and Cuba, because you are an activist here in Buffalo, but not just here in Buffalo, you are an activist in overseas as well. So what is your interest in Guantanamo and Cuba?
I ran into a group called Witness Against Torture. I had gone down to Washington and I ran into them there, and they want to close Guantanamo, and so we go down every January, not this January because of COVID, but and protest either in front of the White House or the Justice Department or the Supreme Court or different places, and so the interest is, well, it's another thing that's insanely wrong. It makes no sense at all. I mean, morally, politically, legally too. The whole thing is crazy.
Okay. Can you tell our audience what is happening in Guantanamo? Like, what exactly is happening in Guantanamo?
Oh, well, the military just took people. They dropped leaflets out of the plane saying, tell us some bad people and we'll give you some money. So the people would say, oh, that guy, he's always stealing my tomatoes, so he's a bad guy. And they wouldn't have any kind of screening thing in the field in Iraq or Afghanistan. They would just put him in a camp and then ship him over to Guantanamo. And when they got to Guantanamo, they said, what's this guy? What is he? Be quiet. He's a prisoner. He's a terrible man.
Kwa hiyo wategelezaji wakumbusa katika maongezi yetu mzee uno iva kujaribia kujielezea mwenye. Kwanza yeye ajamanya kazi za activist zaidi. Activist yani watu ambao waja ambao wakuhamasisha serikali mahali wanakosea, wao ni waja wawapinga ama wenula mudaharati waita wakuchimala mama building ya serikali ili yani kutafuta haki kwa jojose jonaditoke either ni mtu kaonerwa ama ni serikali yaonera haikujamanya vedi, yani wao wantu wakujera mitihani serikali ja ili yani walete mabadiliko mwijamii yao. Kwa hiyo Martin, we kind of on the last minutes here of our interview, is there anything that you would like to talk about that we didn't get a chance to ask you?
Oh, just everyone should try to be as good as they can be, as kind as they can be, as nice as they can be, because that will help so much. Try not to be too upset. Don't be especially upset at people, even bad people. Things, let's hope things will be great. We'll all be back together. We've got so many problems. We all have to work together. So that's all there is.
Kwa hiyo kwa jero ni interview yetu ni herekwa hano, lakini ushauri tu yeye hivyo akuchishauri na wantu wetu ambao wakuchisinya wani wageuke wafaidike kidogo ni kwamba na chigoke chi hamwenga na chimanye kwa sababu yeye ni Marekani kerekerwa hano kwa sababu na miaka mirongo mfungate na chintu yani akugamba ni sigwiswa sisindi kwa serikali polisi kanisindikani yonagwa mwejai. Kwa hiyo yeye ba erekerwe hano ambao kuvua kudugirwa hano kasindi kwa ni aja manywa hivyo we ambao wimkimbizi uja manywe vihi zaidi ya chitahadharisha to. Kwa hiyo anakumbusa jara na chimnekere ni hano mdo chinka mkono zaidi pia ni chaendelea kuwahimiza kwamba ni somo muleke kusubscribe mwi channel yetu ya Kumbusa chaita kwa zina hiyo Kumbusa TV, Instagram ni zina hiyo tu Kumbusa TV, pia mwi Facebook Chiumo kakila video zetu nampate na hao somo mzimize wala somo mgoke wachoyo kuzitumirana ili yani mgoke mweva na mwategereza kila chintu ambacho kulonga katika studio yetu ya Kumbusa. Kwa jora chimnekere ni pano mpaka siku tu. Wa hadha, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.